This is not a big deal. This is actually a win-win for President Trump.
A very fractured opinion, but initially what it says, we know it's authored, the primary opinion, by the Chief Justice, and says essentially that this IEPA, this law that grants the president emergency powers, did not, it looks like by this first blush reading by the Chief Justice here, does not give him the power to levy these tariffs that he's levied. Part of this initial opinion says, the words regulate and importation, the president says that gives him the independent power to impose tariffs on imports from any country, any product, any rate, any time. These words, it says, cannot bear such weight. We know we've got a dissent by Justice Kavanaugh, by Thomas and Alito, it looks like, and those were the three we thought during the arguments, if anyone would be persuaded to allow the president to move forward with these tariffs, they would be the ones to do it. So at first blush, like I said, there are multiple parts and concurrences to this opinion, but it looks like what the primary holding is going to be is that these tariffs cannot be used in the way that the president had tried to use them. Let me get you to the closing paragraph that we have in this initial opinion here. It says, the president asserts the extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration, and scope. In light of the breadth, history, and constitutional context of that asserted authority, he must identify clear congressional authorization to exercise it, meaning.
So what we see here, Supreme Court came down and issued a ruling on Trump's tariff case. They basically said that Trump doesn't have the power and it's illegal that he is issuing tariffs by himself. That's all it is. This is not a big deal. This is actually a win-win for President Trump because he can still use the trade laws and the other tariff laws to his fullest extent and still be able to levy these tariffs on different countries. He already just did a 10% global tariff on all the countries. So this does not stop him. The reason why he did that, I believe that he already knew this was going to happen, but he used it to be able to get a lot of deals done in his first year. He knew that people were going to fight against this. He already knew that this probably might have been a little legal, and he knew the Supreme Court was going to go against him, but he still used it, and then he waited and used the time that it takes to fight this. But the key thing about this is you're going to hear the Democrats talking about they won, but the key thing is the Supreme Court didn't rule on the money. So does the money go back to these companies? What happens? And Trump even said it in his speech. He said they didn't rule on the money. So now we're going to have to go through litigation for the next 2 to 5 years just to see where the money goes. So at the end of the day, these companies or these businesses, these people that said that they're failing, they still are not going to get the money back. And then Trump is still going to use different trade laws that's been tried and tested already through the law, already through the court. He's still going to levy these tariffs. So nothing changes.